أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله تعالى على حبيبه محمد وآله وسلم. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our segment on Surah Al-Anfal. Inshallah, today we will cover the 8th Ruku of Surah Al-Anfal, verses 59 to 64. The previous Ruku ended on the note that an oath or promise is binding on both parties, and they all are expected to fulfill the terms of agreement, because Allah loves those who fulfill their oaths. May Allah grant us the ability to understand the true meanings of the Quran by the grace of His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen. With this dua, let's begin the 8th Ruku of Surah Al-Anfal. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, verse 59. وَلَا يَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَبَقُوا إِنَّهُمْ لَا يُعْجِزُونَ. And not think those who deny can outstrip. Indeed, they cannot escape. Those who deny the truth should not be under the illusion that they can escape from the grip of Allah's laws after violating them, in this life or in the hereafter. If we think we can get away with things, then we must think again. We can take lessons of this from the accounts of the past nations. And also, in today's context, we see criminals getting convicted many years after the crime was committed. Eventually, the truth comes out. And that's what's stated in this verse. As stated in Surah Fatir, this is repeated also in verse 44, where it says, "Have they not traveled through the land and observed how was the end of those before them? And they were greater than them in power. But Allah is not to be caused failure by anything in the skies or on the earth. Indeed, He is ever knowing and competent." Let's go on to verse 60. وَأَعِدُّوا لَهُمْ مُسْتَطَعْتُمْ مِنْ قُوَّةٍ وَمِنْ رِبَاطِ الْخَيْلِ تُرْهِبُونَ بِهِ عَدُوَّ اللَّهِ وَعَدُوَّكُمْ وَآخَرِينَ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ أَهُمْ اللَّهُ يَعْلَمُهُمْ وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ يُوَفَّى إِلَيْكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تُظْلَمُونَ. And prepare against them whatever you are able of power and of cavalry to terrify the enemy of Allah and your enemy and others besides them, whom you do not know, whom Allah knows. And whatever you spend in the way of Allah will be fully repaid to you, and you will not be wronged. Ribat al-Khayli means cavalry. It includes the fine horses, excellent war equipment, and dynamic armed forces. Turhibun means terrify, due to which one stays in awe. To deter an enemy, we should be prepared to the best of our abilities and resources. This applies at both the collective and individual level. At the collective level, this preparation is related not only to powerful military forces equipped with advanced weaponry, but to every field of knowledge and practice, be it science and technology, industrial, and economic fields. Because progress and development in all these areas leads to collective strength of a people. And we can apply this in today's context as well. When we see the superpowers of the world, the elite nations, they are at the top when it comes to education, military might, wealth, science, and technology. This is how they deter other nations from messing with them. At the individual level, every traveler on the right path has to be prepared mentally, intellectually, and physically to be ready to face whatever obstacles come their way. This preparation is related to knowledge and practice of every field also, along with moral and character development. Whatever we spend in the way of Allah, we will be paid back in full, because that is Allah's law, and He is just. Let's go on to verse 61. وَإِن جَنَّهُ لِلسَّلْمِ فَاجْنَ لَهَا وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. And if they incline to peace, then incline to it and trust upon Allah. Indeed, it is He who is the hearing, the knowing. Janahu means they incline. Now, if the enemies choose to lean towards peace, security, and reconciliation, then we should also do the same, while keeping full trust in Allah, because He knows everything about the affairs of people, and nothing is hidden from Him. If there is any evil intention in their hearts, Allah knows, and they will be accountable for it. Trusting in Allah means to wholeheartedly rely on Him in all matters. Allah knows all matters of the hearts and intentions of everyone, and this is also mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah in verse 33. It is further emphasized to put our trust upon Allah in Surah Al-Imran, verse 159 also. Let's go on to verse 62. وَإِن يُرِيدُوا أَن يَخْدَعُوكَ فَإِنَّ حَسْبَكَ اللَّهُ هُوَ الَّذِي أَيَّدَكَ بِنَصْرِهِ وَبِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ. But if they intend to deceive you, then sufficient for you is Allah. He is the one who supported you with His help and with the believers. Now, if the enemies intend to cheat us through the promise of peace and security, Allah is reassuring us in this verse that we need not worry. He will be there to support us along the process. And this is the promise of Allah. Because if we have acted according to the commands of Allah and His Messenger, the Holy Prophet, ﷺ, and put our trust in them, then why worry? Let's go on to verse 63. وَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِهِمْ لَوْ أَنفَقْتَ مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا مَا أَلَّفْتَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِهِمْ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ أَلَّفَ بَيْنَهُمْ إِنَّهُ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. And He put affection between their hearts. If you had spent all what is in the earth, you could not put affection between their hearts, but Allah put affection between them. Indeed, He is honorable and wise. Allafa means put affection, merging one with another, creating harmony in the hearts. It is Allah who puts mutual love in the hearts of people, so they can all become one and unite. He is the one who binds us together. We have no such power, even if we tried with all resources that we have. This can include our wealth, charm, status, and abilities. This is also mentioned in Surah Al-Imran, verse 103, where it says, "And hold firmly to the rope of Allah altogether, and do not become divided. And remember the favor of Allah upon you, when you were enemies, and He brought your hearts together, and you became, by His favor, brothers." Let's go on to verse 64. Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu hasbukallahu wa man ittaba'aka minal mu'minin. O Prophet, your account is with Allah and for whoever follows you of the believers. Hasbuka means your account. The Holy Prophet ﷺ has an account with Allah, and so do the believers who follow him. This means that we each have our own account with Allah, and our expectations should only be with Him and nobody else. This concludes our segment on Ruku 8 of Surah Al-Anfal. Let's briefly go over what we discussed. Allah has knowledge about everything and everyone at all times. Those who deny the truth should not be under the illusion that they can escape from the grip of Allah's laws after violating them, in this life or the hereafter. When fighting against the enemy, we should be prepared to the best of our abilities and resources. Whatever we spend in the way of Allah, we will be paid back in full. If the enemy leans towards reconciliation, there is no problem in making peace. But if the enemy leans towards deception, then Allah knows what is in the hearts. He will recompense them for their intentions, while supporting those on the path of truth. It is Allah who can bind us together. We have no such power, even if we tried with all our abilities and resources. May Allah grant us the ability to understand the Holy Quran and its true meanings in light of the life and guidance of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen. Thank you for joining us for this segment. Until next time. Sadaqallahul Aliyul Azim. Allah speaks the truth, the exalted, the great. Sallallahu ta'ala ala habibihi Muhammadin wa alihi wasallam.